Well, Dave, just now that you all have clinched, you're back home in LA, as you kind of start to prepare for what the next few weeks look like. I know you've got Lance Lynn going tonight, but how do you really see just the rotation shaping out, not only in this homestand, but really as we close out this regular season?
I think you mentioned Lance. Ryan Pepio will throw the bolt tomorrow. I'm not sure who's going to open for him. Bobby will go on Wednesday. Not sure about Thursday. Clayton will be scheduled sometime this weekend. He'll pitch against the Giants. And then obviously you've got Emmett at some point, Yarbrough at some point. I think we feel good we'll win.
From your perspective, is there anything that you are looking to see, or kind of what is your approach just to the next few weeks with the rotation, and even some of the guys who are the Bolt guys coming out of the pen, just kind of what are you looking at and your kind of takeaways as you prepare for what October looks like?
I think we're trying to, get guys in various roles. I don't know exactly how it's going to look, given we don't know the opponent yet, the health of some guys. But I think that if we can sort of put them in various roles to kind of do a run through, it gives a better chance if we get to that point in the postseason. There's a couple guys today we're going to stay away from in the pen, Brazier, Phillips, and Gratterall. They'll be back online tomorrow. So I feel good about coverage and how we're going to deploy these guys for the rest of the season and into the postseason.
Is it fair to say that it's almost like, I know you can't necessarily recreate the postseason feel, but it's almost like a dress rehearsal, especially for some of the younger guys as they learn to prepare for those moments?
I think so. I think that's fair. I think that, putting them in various roles, I think is a good thing. But also I just think that just overall, just for us to stay focused on playing good baseball. It's almost academic in the sense of where our position is going to be at in the postseason, but there's still a lot of work to be done and things that we can continue to get better.
What did you kind of just curious, but what did you guys kind of learn? You clinched really early last year, did so again, and obviously the new postseason format. Like, what did you guys learn? Things that you liked, how you approached that gap, I guess, and things that you maybe want to tweak a little bit.
I think. I haven't, gone too much into that last series in the postseason. I do believe that, baseball is very unpredictable, and sometimes the result isn't what you like. But it doesn't necessarily there needs to be an overhaul in how you prepare. But I do think to that question, I think we're going to do some more focused simulated stuff with our guys, the position players. Some pitchers of ours that we have that need to get ready for the postseason, and maybe some guys that aren't going to be on the roster that continue to need to stay hot to kind of prepare us mentally to simulate as much as we can as far as staying sharp.
Considering how much you're going to have to shuffle your pitching throughout the postseason, is that kind of an advantage, having that 5-day break kind of built in so you sort of get everyone at the same starting block? Kind of?
I think so. If you look at how we're going to put together the roster, there's probably, a handful of guys that 5 days might be too excessive. But you look at another 7 or 8 guys that the 5 days to reset, to be able to kind of reset, could be beneficial. So we'll manage that in the week leading up to it. But I do think that there's a way to look at kind of having 12 to 13 arms to be able to deploy whenever we want. Could be a benefit.
Dave Austin had a comment in Seattle about the importance of keeping your foot on the gas pedal. I hate to almost bring up Max a couple of years ago, but how do you sort of balance that with not wanting a guy to get hurt or not overdoing it for these next 2 weeks?
It's one of those, you still got to play the games. I think if you look at Max's situation, which was very unforeseen, somebody still got to play first base. So you still got to feel the team, and they got to play. So any player that runs out there and plays, there's always a chance for injury. Yeah, could you overdo it potentially? Sure, but there's also a psyche part of it that guys got to still feel like they're getting ready. They're going to have plenty of time on the back end after the season to rest and recover. So, Mike, if you have the exact answer key, I'm willing to listen. But I just think I don't do a good job of looking back at certain results and saying we should have done it different, because we played 8 other players and guys played around the league, and I don't recall any other impact player getting hurt on the last day of the season like Max did, and that's part of sports.
Dave, talking about those pitching plans, what do you feel like you guys kind of really need to see from Lance Lynn today and just down the stretch of the season to feel pretty solid about him heading into the postseason?
I think we need to see a little bit more out of the gate. I think the last couple starts, there's been some mechanical things that he's had to clean up that I think that he and Mark identified. Then the intent part of it is, he's built to go deep into games. That's how he's wired. But I think that having the mindset of going as hard as you can for as long as you can is what I'm looking for the next 2 starts from Lance.
Do you think that him knowing that in a postseason scenario, a lot of stuff that kind of play up, it's more of what you're kind of looking for, just kind of knowing, all right, I don't have to worry about going 6 or 7 in a playoff game. I just want to go from pitch 1.
I do think that that's beneficial, and he knows that.
Dave, as you look at the 12 or 13 you were talking about, where does Pepio sit, and does he have different value in a 5-game series versus a 7-game series?
Ryan is certainly right there in the mix. I think he has value in both, but to your question, probably more the 7 because it's a potentially longer series. But for me, he has equal value in a short series.
He hasn't pitched a lot this season, but it's impressive what he's done in the short amount of time.
It's really impressive. Yeah, his mix of high velocity fastball, swing and miss in the strike zone, the change up, the breaking ball off that plays.
I don't mean to jump ahead. I know we've got another 2 weeks of the regular season, but at what point do you start having conversations with some of the guys as to kind of postseason roster spots?
I think I think that each game we're starting to gather more information on these guys. The position player side, it seems a little bit more straightforward, but with the pitching, I think sort of by performance, by default, it's becoming pretty clear as well. But there's still going to be some tougher conversations that we still have time to kind of evaluate, and those conversations won't happen until we have plenty of time, because even during the division series and figuring out opponents, so we got time for that.
I know the deadline was a month and a half ago, but any lingering awkward feelings with Eduardo Rodriguez on the other side tonight?
No, I was certainly, like everybody, surprised that he didn't waive his no trade to come here to play for a team that's contending. But that's something that was personal to him, and obviously I'm sure there was a good reason behind it. I just don't know that answer.
With all the rotation things that have popped up recently, it's tough to not play. What if he was part of the equation right now?
No, not for me. I think if a guy doesn't want to be here for whatever reason, then c'est la vie. It's all good.
How's Michael?
What's that?
How's Michael Brown?
Michael's fine. He's going to do an up-down this week. I think it's Wednesday. And the plan is to get Michael back here with us Saturday or Sunday.
I think the NCAA talks about just doing everything he can to try to get back, but do you think that's realistic that he could be returning?
It's a longer shot for the regular season, possible, but there's still a lot of baseball to be played, talking about the postseason. So I think the main thing for Yency is just try to get healthy, and then when he's healthy and feels like he can get major league hitters out, we'll just kind of see and hope the timeline fits for him.